Oh, look at this. Hey, what's going on? Happy Labor Day. Hope you guys have had a productive and efficient Labor Day. I've been behind the scenes working with clients and then also getting ready for the launch of the podcast. So the podcast is going to be launching this week and doing 15-minute segments as well as the hour of the Minding My Business. So I will be sharing the link with you guys very soon. Let me just adjust this because it's like super high. Hold on. Okay. Let me get to this level here. All right. So what's up, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about the danger of staying in good. And I just wanted to share this with you and go live with you today. Maybe just give you some words of encouragement for you to really step it up to full capacity. Now, when I get to work with people, what I realize is the people that make some of the greatest shifts and changes in their businesses and their lives is when it's almost like life has to really knock you on your butt. Life has to really knock you on your butt in order for you to almost like get sick and tired of the pain. So when you're sick and tired, what's up, Sierra? We're talking about moving from good to great and the danger of staying in good. And I just figured today was like the perfect day to talk about this. And I had a few coaching sessions today, and this was just a topic of discussion. So I wanted to just give you guys something to really think about today. Coming from a space of addiction and then also being in some really traumatic spaces that left me in a really intense pain spot, and choosing to operate in a space of excellence and operate in what my full capacity, my full potential was, I was in a lot of pain. And what I've noticed with high-end achievers is it's almost like in order for us to really have that big wake-up call and that big wake-up moment is you have to be in a lot of pain. And when we're in a space of good, so when we're in this space of good, it can often lead us into a really big danger zone. I call it the gray space. So when you're in this gray space, what can happen is you stay in that gray space for too long because things aren't bad, but they're not excellent. You're not operating at really high capacity because there's not really a big reason for you to want to push forward. And most of the time, we're moved from either pain or pleasure, but unfortunately, most people are more moved from not wanting to be in that space anymore. So when you transition from that space of moving out of pain, mental, emotional, or physical pain, and you're just in this space of like good, like you've got a good body, or you've got a good income, or you've got a good relationship, but things are they really like, could they be stepped up a notch? Are you really operating at that like full capacity? Is there another level to where you're operating in? And when you're in this space of change and transformation, the mind isn't necessarily going to want to be moving full capacity forward. And so every day, if you set a time limit, if you set like a deadline on it, like I'm going to build out a whole new me for the next year, and I'm not going to give it just a month because it takes about a full year to completely embody a new character role, a new personality trait, a new way of operating and being, where it becomes your new way of functioning, your new way of moving and operating. So if you go all in on this space of like embodying your future self, embodying the new, embracing the new, and practicing the becoming, there's going to be this segment of the mind where it's going to be like, oh, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. This is dumb. I don't even know if this is really working. I don't know if this is really like, I don't know if this is working. I don't know if this is actually efficient. And you just got to do it anyway. And if you give yourself an opportunity, a real opportunity, where if you understand that true change can take anywhere from 6 months to a year, and you just go all out and you really bet on yourself and you really bet on the capacity of you showing up and knowing that you can build anew. One thing I like to describe it is like, if you're building this empire building, this skyrise, if you're building this skyrise and you're trying to build out these layers, and the bottom of what you're building out is really a not so stable foundation, eventually, you know that game like, what is that? Is it called Jenga? The game, you guys help me out. Is that game called Jenga, where you're like putting the blocks in and then you keep building up this like skyrise building, that eventually the building, if the bottom isn't like stable and solid, eventually the building will collapse. And unfortunately, it did happen here in Miami. There was a building where it was just negligence and the building did collapse. And it was just traumatic. It was unnecessary endings, lives and stuff like that. So it's the same thing. Like, is there the bottom? Can it be prevented? Can we restructure and pull out the roots of it where we can build out this solid base, so that no matter how high you decide to go, no matter how many layers of this building you're deciding to build out, it's not going to go anywhere, because the bottom part of it is stable and those roots are stable where it's at base of that foundation. Negativity can kill. Have to stay confident, that's for sure. So we don't want to. One thing too, I want to say this is, when you're in this space of good and you're not with the right coach, or you don't have the right people as part of your lineup, you can also get stuck in that space of good for too long. So maybe in the beginning, when you weren't so great and things were super rocky, you had people as part of your lineup where they got you to that space of good, and then they're imposing their own limitation and their beliefs upon you just because you got there. So one thing I want to encourage you as well is, like, be very aware and be very careful with who has your ear. So who is it that is going to impose those beliefs? If you have something inside of your mind, inside of like what you think you are capable of achieving, or you know that there's a desire inside of you that you know you can operate from a space of greatness, and the people part of your lineup have their own limitations, and then they start to get a hold of your ear, so then you start to question your ability to how far you can achieve. That's something you want to be very, very cautious of, and what people are giving you as far as like information. I do want to say that today, because it is Labor Day, there is a Labor Day special. So I know a lot of you guys are not in my email list, and I did only really post on the email list. I think I posted even in my Instagram, but I want to share it with you guys publicly. And I did even put the link below. If you want in and you need a strong lineup and you need a strong support system and you need somebody to believe in you and speak life into you and to prophesize over your goals, over your business, over you, give you the tools, the resources that you need, I would love to coach you. I would love to have you in our inner circle. We have our team huddles. We have a really strong lineup. We have a strong team that we're consistently building. And so you can, if you get in today, what I'm going to do for you is I have a $500 course that is valued at $3,000. And this course is amazing. It is a game changer. It's going to put a fire underneath your butt. It's going to put a fire and that passion back inside of your heart, back inside of your dreams, so you actually get moving from that good space up and over the hill into that greatness that you were designed to be in. I'm going to gift you, so that's a BOGO special, buy one, get one free. And I'm going to gift you this course that is valued at over just about $3,000, and I'm selling it at $500, but I'm going to give it to you for once you get inside the inner circle. But this is only for today, and I know I'm doing this late, so just send me a message if you want in, and you can get that at www.tanyacoliver.com/inner circle. So so that's a team huddle. That's our inner circle. But getting back to this, hopefully this makes sense for you guys. That if that gray area can actually be more dangerous than if you're at a space of rock bottom. And I was had this conversation today that some of the people that I see that have reached really, really big levels of success are the ones that have gotten knocked down on their butts pretty hard. And something that I learned in my yoga practice through teacher training was, why wait for bad things to happen to you in order for you to really experience the greatness? And you don't have to operate in that space anymore. I think a lot of people talk about it like, oh, things aren't that bad, therefore you're not going to like move better. But put yourself in circumstances and in environments that are going to move you forward, that are going to pull you forward, that are going to pull you and raise up your ceiling, because you can only go as high as you know. There was a study done, I'm reading this book called The Mindful Athlete, and there's this study done where they talked about the flies, but then they talked about the bees, where they put these bees in a jar and they left them in there just for a little bit. And so the bees stopped flying up and they just started walking on the ground. So these bees just started walking on the ground. Then they took the lid off, and if the bees just looked up, they could fly out. But they just kept their head down and they were just walking on the ground. So the goal is, in order from just getting from walking on the ground, all we got to do is look up and be pulled up to then fly out. And most of the time we create our own imprisonment by just confining ourselves to our own limitations and what we think is possible, or we take on somebody else's limits and we claim them as our own. And so we create our own little cage and our own ceiling of how high, when you're designed to fly and you're just walking. You were designed to fly. You were designed to achieve like huge things in business and in life, and in there's those dreams and the desires where you got to pull back that fire. You got to pull back, get back that fire inside of you, that passion, and start to at least aim for greatness. I was watching an interview today with Kobe Bryant, and he was asked in the interview, you know, there are athletes that only want to strive to win, and there are athletes that are afraid of failing, or they hate losing. Which athlete are you? And he said, I'm neither. And she's like, what do you mean? And he goes, I'm neither, because I play to learn. I play to get better. And if you play to constantly always win, then you're going to have this type of pressure on yourself where if the alternative is failing, there's going to be some really, it's going to happen. And if you're playing to hate to lose, then eventually you're going to really end up resenting the game. Because it's just that fear of losing. You're going to impose that type of pressure on yourself that eventually you're going to get lost in the game. And it's almost like a lose-lose battle where you're setting yourself up to fail either way of those two extreme places. And so if you focus on the middle, which is like focus on growth, how can I learn in each game? How can I become better each game? How can I have become a better person, a better athlete? Then I can just be in the moment. And one thing is, when you're in a space of, in the present moment, you're in a space of acceptance, and you're in the space of like, okay, how can I become better today? How can I work on my passion project today? What is it that I'm putting on the back burner that's important to me, but I keep pushing off to the side and I'm not dealing with it because I'm waiting for the right time, or I'm waiting for the right person, or I'm waiting for XYZ, when really you just been waiting on yourself the whole time. And that's where we get caught up in that good space. And that good space is I think good is probably one of the most dangerous spaces to sit on, because there's nothing lighting a fire in your butt. And you're never really going to move or strive to achieve more because things are good. You weren't designed to be good. You weren't designed to sit in good. And good is really a gray area. Gray is a settlement area. You were designed for more. You were designed to achieve amazing things and to live an extraordinary life, because we just take advantage of life. I was rollerblading today, and I was rollerblading by this one spot that I always rollerbladed by, and there was this park. And so I'm rollerblading by this park that doesn't exist there anymore. it doesn't exist because there's all this construction going on now, and it overlooked this lake, and it was like kind of like a halfway midpoint marker, Sunset Harbor that I rollerblade down in Miami, and it's not there anymore. And I'm like, wow, I wish I would have taken more moments to appreciate that space, because by the time you know it, it's not there anymore. We think things are going to be around forever. We think those opportunities are constantly going to be there. We think the people that we're putting on the back burner, we're working so hard to provide for our families, and then we miss out the opportunities of really building precious memories with the children, with nieces and nephews and the grandbabies and all these other things, or pouring into relationships and friendships that are actually worth building and pouring into, because those are investments. And it's time to really look at things of the difference between an investment and an expense, and what the return on your investment is, of what that value is. Is the ROI piece? Is it happiness? Is it joy? Not everything is about money. Money is a piece of paper. And yes, it does help to build things and to do things like this, and to have the electronics and the gadgets to be able to serve and pour into you guys. But at the end of the day, it's about the intrinsic success that we put on ourselves. And so my challenge to you today is, I want you to look at the gray areas of your life, and I want you to really question, how can you bump that up by a few points? How can I bump up my goodness into better, into greatness? How can I show up more efficiently, more productively? And I encourage you and I welcome you, and I invite you to join our inner circle, where I will challenge you, I will push you, I will believe in you, I will give you a sense of certainty and belief in yourself, and we will raise that ceiling that you've created, and we will push you from good to great, all right, and from good to excellence. So I hope you accept my invitation. You can send me a direct message at Tanya C. Oliver over at Instagram, or even the email www.tanyacoliver.com/inner circle, and I will gift you the Get Shiznit Done Productivity course, but only for today. So right now I'm about to head into my night routine, but I love you guys, and I wanted to make sure that I got on live today, and I'll see you guys later. All right. Hope you had a great day. Bye.